Okay, so today I'm going to talk to you about the 7 things that are probably completely fucking destroying your relationship and maybe even your life. Question, if I make it very obvious these 7 things are fucking things up, are you willing to stop doing it? Remember, just because something feels good doesn't mean it's good for you. Drugs, alcohol, they have their little jolt they give you, but that doesn't mean they're good for you long term, okay? So anyway, let's kind of start my little list here. I got a little cheat sheet right next to me here. Remember, by the way, these are not professional. These are not like professionally, done videos. I don't give a shit how I fucking, what the background is or, what I'm doing. It's just when I have a thought, I want to share with you, okay? And if you like them, please like or subscribe, comment. I will feed off your comments, so give me more things to talk about. Listen, I'm not working directly with you here, but I would put 2 hours of browsing around on my YouTube channel against 2 years. I'd put 2 hours of browsing around my YouTube channel against 20 years with your therapist. I believe that's strongly what I'm doing here. I've been doing this for over 10 years. I can make your life a lot more fucking simple, okay? So I'm just gonna talk to you in a very common sense way. I'm not a counselor, I'm not a therapist, thank fucking God. But bottom line is I talk to people in a common sense way, and I do have a PhD in fucking results. Feel free to browse from my YouTube channel. I'll prove to you I really can make a big difference for you if you're willing to do the work and have an open mind. Okay, anyway, continuing onwards here we go. First one is complaining, okay? Listen, I know complaining feels good. I would never tell you that I don't complain, but I don't complain for very long. If you want to take maybe 30 seconds to, share your opinion, fine, so be it here. But after about 2 minutes, it becomes a fucking sickness, and it literally an addiction. I mean, I like to exaggerate and make simple points here. Let's just say you had something happen, someone cuts you off on the road, and now you start complaining for the next 5 hours. Is that doing you any good? Is there a solution there? Is that person there for you to talk to and work things out? Fuck no, you're just complaining for the sake of complaining. You're literally feeding almost really what is an addiction. Why would you do that? If you had something unfair happens to you at work, let's just say your boss treats you unfairly, and you complain to your all night at dinner and for the rest of the evening for 3 hours, you complain to your roommate, your friend, your family member, your wife, your husband, and you just complain and vent, how could he do this? So unfair, oh my God. Well, if there's no opportunity for a solution, and they're not gonna fix anything, what was the benefit? I mean, if you can't actually fix what your boss is doing and the crappy ways that they respond with you, how valuable really was that? I mean, did you accomplish anything? You accomplished fucking zero. All you did was fucking sicken yourself. That'd be like fucking binge eating a bunch of sugar and cake and cookies. You're just gonna be fat the next fucking day. In this case, emotionally. Complaining for the sake of complaining solves fucking zero. Again, just because it feels good does not mean it's good for you. Stop fucking doing that. Again, I always encourage people to be a human being. You want to complain for 30 minutes? Fine, go do that. You want to complain for 30 seconds? Go do that. 30 seconds versus 3 hours is a whole different ball game here. You have to have a limit here, okay? Next one, counseling. I'm going to stop short of saying that counseling is a scam because I know there's some very well-meaning people to try and do it. But listen, in life, life is too short to work with people that mean well but have no idea what the fuck they're doing. So if you're talking to somebody that's just going to talk to you about what's wrong and how life is unfair, and they're not giving you real practical tools to feel better, then what's the value? It's worth fucking nothing. By the way, on that note, this whole channel is dedicated to getting you off the fucking counselor's couch and back into your fucking life. Ask your counselor, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Counselor, how long will it take you to get me off your fucking couch and back into my life? You're probably not going to like their answer. And you have to ask yourself, why are they so wishy-washy? Why are they giving you smoke answers, talking about how, it's a process and time heals all wounds? I mean, I'm going to prove to you on this channel here, that's not the case here. You have different kind of muscle, powerful emotional muscle, that if you actually treat the right way and treat your brain for what it really is, a fucking muscle, you can work it out and strengthen it to the point where you'd have a significant difference even the first week. But of course, your counselor doesn't know that. Anyway, classic counseling, talking about something for the sake of talking about it, solves fucking zero. You need real solutions. And by the way, on that note, a reason why a lot of you, no offense, are, after a bad relationship, a bad breakup, are saying, okay, I don't want to date for the next year or two. I want to spend 2 years on myself. Well, you're going to have a rude awakening when 2 years later, you realize nothing's fucking been fixed. You still have the same fear around dating, relationships, whatever that might be for you, because you haven't upgraded your skill set. And your counselor ain't going to fucking do that here. Listen, at the end of the day, you can only speak how you feel. And your counselor, if your counselor gives you fucking these great fucking tips like, oh, just control your emotions. oh, yeah, control your emotions and nonsense like that. I mean, they're trying to tell you do things that they can't even fucking do. I have tons of people that are counselors, therapists, medical people do my program. There's a reason for that. It's very easy to talk all big when you're not the one directly involved. But I guarantee that counselor, when they find out that, their spouse is doing certain things here, they're not having a fucking very good day, and they're fucking going to another counselor because they can't even fix it themselves here. It doesn't matter what, it doesn't matter, let me put it this way here. It only matters what we can do. Concepts without application are worth fucking zero. If you can't control your emotions in the heat of things, then you have nothing. And if that counselor can't give you a practical way to start feeling better, I mean, why are you going there? I mean, think about it. Aren't you going there to feel better? Aren't you going there to feel better within a specific time frame? So if that counselor can't give you a guarantee, a real assurance that you'll feel better within a specific time frame, why are you going there? They're not doing anything for you. So that's number 2, counseling. Next one on the note is therapy. Therapy, in my opinion, I'm gonna stop short of saying it's a scam, but it's complete bullshit. If you're going and the reason I'm gonna stop short there is because I know there's some therapists that really mean well, and I know there's some that might have some alternative ideas and techniques that go beyond their classic therapy training. So I'm gonna stop short of that. But classic therapy, classic therapy is, oh, you're broken, you're some kind of fucking hurt animal, like there's something wrong with you, you're deficient. You're not. There is something called the science of neuroplasticity, and it's called the science of neuroplasticity, not that fucking theory. You have something incredible called a fucking brain. If you actually treat the brain like a muscle and gave it a workout, you'd strengthen it just like you would a muscle. And think about it. I'm talking analogy here. If you never worked out your physical muscles before, obviously they'd be small and weak, right? Small and weak physical muscles. And obviously, if that was the case, you'd be susceptible and vulnerable to hurting yourself if you overextend yourself. Isn't that true? Of course, it's fucking true. And if that happened, would you call your therapist or counselor? Oh my God, I have small muscle syndrome. I knew it'd come to get me one day. That's fucking ridiculous. You just never trained before. You just never worked those muscles. So of course, you're gonna be much more susceptible to hurting yourself. So what really is the path? That you have small muscle syndrome and you're some fucking hurt animal? Or maybe, just maybe, you should have trained those muscles in advance, preemptively, to prevent yourself from hurting yourself. What makes more fucking sense to you? Get off the fucking counselor's couch and come to my common sense corner here. So yeah, again, just because something feels good doesn't mean it's good for you. And feel free to ask that therapist too, what's your time frame? At what time can I expect to not only not work with you anymore, but not work with any fucking therapist? Can you guarantee that? You're not gonna like their fucking answer. And in life, you tend to get you paid for it. It just is what it is. But again, there are a lot of well-meaning people out there. That doesn't mean they actually know what they're doing. There is such thing called an actual expert. It doesn't have to be me, but find who you believe is the numero fucking uno and work with them and call it a day. And even if it's a little expensive, you're fucking worth it. By the way, on that note, it doesn't matter what you say, it matters what you do. If you find a much better solution or better person out there and you still fucking half-ass it, you really can't be surprised when the patterns keep repeating. If you treat yourself like some kind of second-class fucking citizen, that you're only going to do something if it's in your budget or convenient, well, then you're gonna get what you're gonna get here, and it's not gonna be good here. You want a Harvard life? Go to fucking Harvard the very first time. Okay, next on my list here, critiquing. Woo! If you want one quick way to kill a relationship, there you go. Critiquing. Critiquing is the easiest way to destroy things. Listen, the decision-making relationship is emotional, it's not intellectual. And if someone starts associating you with somebody who's just going to bicker and fight and critique them and tell them what's wrong, and you're not sharing love, you're not balancing with why you're there in the first place with love and I appreciate you, I love you, and you're amazing, no wonder they're going to fucking leave. Don't test this out here, but if you want to get out of a relationship you don't enjoy, just start critiquing your partner consistently every day, around the clock, and see how quickly they disappear. They're not gonna stay there very fucking long. Critiquing is one of the easiest ways to destroy a relationship. Now again, I know it feels good to get it out, right? Oh, this, you didn't do this again, you didn't do that again. But I'm telling you, you're destroying the relationship. There is a classic phrase called pick your battles. You better pick your battles really carefully. If you're fucking critiquing every little fucking thing, then you're gonna destroy your relationship. You wanna have a little, conversation about something once every few months or so, fine, so be it. But critiquing becomes a fucking sickness. And if you're so miserable, you can't stop critiquing your partner, then maybe you should be with your partner. Maybe you should fucking leave. Just being honest with you here. But critiquing is an easy way to destroy things. Can you stop doing that? I don't know. Next one here. Stop listening to people that really have no idea what the fuck they're doing. listen, I know you have that friend, family member that's giving all this great advice, and it sounds really good because it's what you want to fucking hear, but have they ever coached anyone before? Just because they were able to do it for themselves doesn't mean they're able to do it for other people. Let me repeat that. I know that well-meaning person at the church is giving this great advice, or a great friend or family giving this great advice, sounds really good, they seem really happy themselves, but how many people have they actually fixed? How many people can they actually boast they have changed their life and gave them a whole different trajectory and got them out of a shitty situation? One person, maybe two? I mean, that's not a fucking expert. There are experts out there. If I want to win Wimbledon, I'm not going to work with my friend who knows a couple of things about forehands and backhands. I'm going to try and work with Andre Agassi or the closest thing possible. You deserve the best. You deserve more than some kind of half-assed solution, okay? I'm going to say this one last time, really make my point home here. If you want to win Wimbledon and you have even if your mom or dad plays tennis, I mean, listen, I'm sure they can show a couple things about the forehand, but I'd rather work with Andre Agassi or Serena Williams. Don't fucking half-ass it. You want championship caliber coaching, advice, mentorship. So stop working with people that really have no idea what the fuck they're doing, okay? That's plain and simple, because that's only going to frustrate you long term. And on that note, those same people, if they're giving you generic cookie cutter advice like, control your emotions. Oh, you need to stop before you speak. Whatever that is. I mean, if they're giving you generic advice, but without telling you a practical way to actually fucking do it when you're heat of the fucking emotions, how valuable was that advice? It was worth fucking zero. Okay, that's the next one here. By the way, I don't know if I'm actually gonna get 7 or not. I'm just kind of riffing here a little bit here. I got a little bit of a cheat sheet here. Again, if you enjoy these raw fucking videos, no fancy editing, please like or subscribe. I got a lot more for you here. So, last one. I think this is gonna be the last one here I'm gonna discuss here. Stop fucking putting up with excuses. Listen, someone put in a really great quote on one of my videos about like Hippocrates, like, are you willing to stop doing what's making you sick? I got a lot of people that are dealing with a very difficult partner that's putting all the blame on them. And this person's still putting the blame on them 3, 5, 6 months later. And they say they're still healing. Well, if 6 months later they're still feeling that shitty that all they can do is bicker and complain and blame, they have to look at what they're doing. Is it really helping? I mean, fuck, if you want to get in better shape, you start running this week, you will start feeling better, a little more cardiovascular endurance within the next couple weeks or so. But if it's 6 months later and you still can't fucking run for more than 5 minutes, you have to look at the workout you're doing. So there are certain people out there that really just make excuses. They want to blame you. They're really not doing a fucking thing to fix their own situation. It's so easy to put the blame on the other person. Stop putting up with that bullshit. Really hold someone to the fire. Like if you really want to fix this, what are you really doing to fix it here? Are you just complaining? Just bickering? But stop putting up with excuses from people. Make them walk the fucking walk. Anyways, I don't know if I hit 6 or 7, something like that. Again, I'm just doing videos, just basically raw videos to get you off the fucking counselor's couch. And if you think I got you one step closer to off the counselor's couch, please like or subscribe. Share this with a friend, a really sad friend. Again, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a doctor, I'm none of those people. But I have tons of those people do work with me. And I assure you, nobody is debating with me. There's a much better way. Again, there's something called the science of neuroplasticity. It's not called the fucking theory of neuroplasticity. I'm not giving you attachment theory. I'm giving you fucking facts. I'm giving you like actual logic, facts, things you can take to the fucking bank, okay? Not fucking putting your thumb in the air, hoping that it sounds fucking good. Anyway, if you enjoy this video, please like or subscribe. If you want to have a personal conversation, we can absolutely fucking do that. This is what I was built to do. Just go to refocusonhappiness.com. And I hope you're serious about this, of course. But you listen, what I teach is not easy. It's not a fucking magic trick. It is hard. Now, with that said, I hope I gave you some real value today. Again, I would put what I put on my YouTube channel against if you actually spend 2 hours a day going through my YouTube channel, I would put those practical techniques and strategies against 2 years with your counselor or therapist. It is what it is. Of course, it's a different experience. We're working together. That's common sense here. But I'm trying to give you the best I can in the context of I'm not talking directly with you here. So anyway, there's a lot of stuff going on over here. So anyway, we'll talk later. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.